So not long back from an amazing Easter holiday in Italy, which is the first time we've had to work around school holidays. So it's a bit earlier than usual. So we went the 8th of April for about 10 days. So yeah, it was kind of new for us to go to Italy not in season. And as we have done for the last 7 years that we've had family in Italy, we travelled with Jet2, who fly from Manchester to Pisa, and it takes about 2 hours 15 minutes. And this time I reached out to Jet2 and we collaborated, and they sponsored these flights, which is absolutely amazing. So thank you to them for that. And I thought I would share my thoughts on the experience and maybe tell you a little bit about what it's like flying with 2 kids, and kind of how Jet2 make that a little bit easier. First things first, I'm an ardent planner when it comes to traveling, and I like to know exactly what's going to be happening. So the fact that you can kind of check in online, reserve your seats, book extra luggage if you need it. And I mean, we travel with a 3.5-year-old and a 10-month-old, and we need so much stuff. I mean, we took our Tommy Tippy Perfect Prep with us the first time we went to Italy, and all those kind of paraphernalia bits that you just need with a baby. It gets easier as they get older, but it just feels like you need so much. So I love that we can book extra luggage if we need it online. And also, top tip from me, which I've mentioned in one of my previous blog posts about traveling with kids, is think about food, because food keeps them entertained, it takes up some of the flight time, it keeps you busy doing something. So one thing I love to do with Jet2 is when I'm checking in online, which I usually do a few days before, I pre-book our meals. And I know that that will take the attention, particularly of our 3-year-old. It will keep her entertained, and she loves kind of getting what she calls a lunchbox on the flight. And yeah, it's a really good tip. If you do it online before as well, there's often a special discount. So it's usually, I think, 20% off, as opposed to you ordering the food there and then. And the thing is, with flying, you never quite know how busy it's going to be and how much food's going to be available. So it's always nice to know that you're going to get what you want if you pre-order. So flight out was the morning. So we ordered a kids' breakfast and a vegetarian breakfast for me and the hubby. And it was really great because when they bring it, you get your food first, which is amazing. So before they start doing the service up and down the aisle. So you get your food first, keeps the kids entertained, it's yummy, it keeps you going, and it's really good fun. So that's definitely a massive tip that I'd say, and that Jet2 do really well. One thing I also wanted to mention about the Jet2 guys is the service starts from when you walk into the airport. Now, I can only vouch for Manchester because we've only flown with Jet2 from Manchester, but the team are all on the ground, are always so lovely. And when they kind of notice us coming along with, 4 suitcases, 4 hand luggages, a baby and a toddler, they always kind of beckon us over, get us straight into the bag drop queue, and they're nothing but friendly. And even just little touches, like I had my boarding passes electronically because I checked in online, but they printed them out for us at baggage drop just because they knew we'd have so much stuff to kind of coordinate that it would be easier to have them printed. They also always give us priority in the security line, which makes life a lot easier because, again, when you're traveling with kids, you've probably got a buggy or a travel system, maybe a car seat. We had to get our 10-month-old out and carry him. We had to empty so much stuff. We had all our electronic devices to kind of keep the kids entertained and ourselves. Food, bottles, all of these things that you kind of have to separate and sort through the tray. So it's really nice that you get pushed through security in a separate queue, so you don't feel like everybody's backing up behind you, and it gets you through a little bit quicker. And then also they offer you priority boarding, which is really great. And so if you like to get settled in, get all your stuff out, get your kids settled, then priority boarding's a lifesaver because it just means that you're just not faffing around as much, and you don't feel like you're holding up the rest of the flight, which is often the way when you're traveling with kids. We take our buggy right up to the departure gate, and we just collapse it, and the guys put it straight onto the aeroplane. So yeah, it makes life so much easier, so thanks to Jet2. Totally non-kid related, I personally love that Jet2 have duty-free shopping on board, and they also often offer additional discounts. So my favourite thing that I always buy when I fly with Jet2 is my Benefit cosmetics. So I love the mascaras, which are, you know, something like £26 here in the UK. Duty free, they're a few pounds cheaper, but then Jet2 often do deals where they're even cheaper. So yeah, it's always nice to do a bit of shopping to start the holiday off. But as well as really friendly, helpful staff who always spot you've got kids and who always go the extra mile to do things like help you prep bottles or grab you water when you need it, we had the nicest surprise on our way home from the pilot of Jet2. We were flying back from Pisa to Manchester, and we had a female pilot, which is always awesome. And you know, having a daughter, I love talking to her about the fact that there's a woman flying a plane, and that might be a job that she'd love to do in the future. So that was so cool. And then we always hang back when everybody's getting off of the plane, because, you know, we put our son into a carrier, we're getting all this hand luggage down, we're getting all packed up. So we were one of the last ones to leave the plane when we landed back in Manchester, and the female pilot came out of the cockpit and asked if our daughter would like to see the cockpit and where they fly from, and she was so excited. And there was a lovely male co-pilot, and they let her climb into the seat, which I just didn't think we were still allowed to do. So it was such a lovely treat, and my daughter she was mind blown and so happy. So it was a really, really nice touch to you know, no matter how short a flight is, it's always tricky traveling with kids, and it's always a bit energy depleting, let's say. And yeah, it was a really lovely touch to finish our trip. So thank you so much to Jet2, because as always, we love flying with you. We've never had a bad experience, touch wood, so far, and you guys are super helpful. So if you do have any questions about travelling with kids or flying with kids, or Jet2 and what they offer, then please do ask in the questions and comments, and I'd love to chat to you.